I'm live. All right. Here's some you can win for the kids.
Thanks.
There you go. All right. You ready? Here we go. A little bit about me. I moved to Florida in 1992, 2 weeks after the big hailstorm. All you remember that. I have 3 children and 2 living with me, and I was working in a medical field doing coding. Days were long, travel was longer. I decided that real estate would be a good career to go into because you can make your own hours and I could spend time with my family. So in 1998, I got my real estate license to be a realtor. After 4 years and 2 different Century 21s, I decided I could do this on my own and do it better. So in 2002, I started my own company. In 2003, condo conversions became real popular, and that was when I started into the property management world. I was learning the property owners' goals and objectives is very important to developing a management plan for their properties. It all starts with the investor. Many investors look to us as a real estate professional as well as property managers for advice in obtaining their financial objectives. There's where there's a realtor working with an investor that doesn't know anything or much about property management. They should contact us and work with us to make them knowledgeable and more respectable. We would be able to help not just the realtor, but the investor. A really good, well-educated property manager is able to calculate without using the software programs. For example, they are able to calculate, without using the software programs, the potential gross income minus what the vacancy and collections would be in 1 year, which equals the effective gross income, minus operating expenses to come to a net operating income. Then you take out the debt services and you come up with a pre-tax cash flow. All of this to get to the investor the best overall cap rate, debt coverage ratio, cash break-even ratio, to get the most important number to an investor, the cash on cash percentage, also known as rate on investment. So now your investor has the best property for the best rate. Now we need to make it rent ready. This is different from ready to be put on the market, also known as move-in condition. This is something that needs to be done as quickly as possible for the success of the property. In the leasing of properties, we only get one chance to make a good first impression. Therefore, it is vital that each property look as good as possible before we begin the marketing effort. The physical condition of a property has more to do with the quality of the resident that it attracts than any other factor. Attracting good applicants also usually means easier management later on when the applicants are residents. Plus, we will get less wear and tear. They'll stay longer, they'll pay higher rents, and present fewer management problems. And now we have a prospective tenant that goes through our screening process. We check the criminal background along with the past rentals to make sure that they have not been evicted in the past or that they pay on time, etc. Along with the credit check and verification of employment, a tenant should make approximately 3 times the monthly rent. In doing these applications checks, we have to be very careful that we ourselves are following the fair housing laws. We do not discriminate against applicants for reason of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familiar status, physical or mental disabilities. Once complete, an applicant has been approved for either fill out the lease and they have been approved by the Florida Supreme Court or a lease prepared by a Florida attorney at law. So the professional property managers subscribe to the Code of Ethics. I think you've heard me talk about that before. These laws are rules of conduct that are binding on our society and are enforced by civil authority. As a member of NARPM, which is the National Association of Residential Property Managers, we are actually held to a higher standard than most property managers. Duty to the public, or there are 10 that property managers must live by, the laws. Duty to the public, duty to protect the public, confidentiality, accounting and reporting, protection of funds, duty to the client, firm and or employer, duty to residents, compliance with laws and regulations, competitive relationship, and education and professionalism. You just just gave up.
You were going so fast, I'm like, just one or two, I just want to listen to you.
Once the tenant is in the property, there may or may not be some problems during the tenancy. We come up with several with curable violations, such as unauthorized pets, unauthorized occupants, abandoned vehicles, NSFs, etc. All of these items and more can be dealt with either a 7-day notice to cure or just a letter or phone call. If we determine the violation is not curable or they violate the lease twice, then we can do a 7-day notice of non-compliance, notice of termination, which is treated just as an eviction for something other than a non-payment of rent. We also are not allowed, by law, to threaten or to bring or file court actions against the tenants just to retaliate against the tenants where the tenants have acted in good faith. Though we like to, we'd love to, but we can't. There are 3 methods of regaining rental possession in Florida. Tenants can surrender the possession at the end of the lease or when a written agreement has been made. Tenants are deemed to have abandoned the property or an eviction. All of you have lost by now. We strive to have all our tenants surrender possession. Members of the armed services may cancel the lease or rental agreement by giving at least a 30-day. Really?
I had to make sure. I thought I heard it, but then I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't win.
Very good. Let me just finish. I just have a little short here. A tenant has moved out, and now we have to deal with the security deposit. The security deposit always belongs to the tenant. Oftentimes, we hear a property owner say, "Did you collect my security deposit?" This money belongs to the tenant, not the owner, the tenant, unless and until a successful claim is imposed against the deposit and the end of the tenancy. There is a detailed inspection done by either a home inspector or the property managers with pictures, proof, and knowledge of repairs and replacement costs. If we are to claim any part of the security deposit, we are to certify mail a claim within 30 days of the date of the tenant vacated the dwelling rental property. However, if we do not make a claim on the money, we have to refund that within 15 days of them vacating, not the end of the lease, the vacating date. Once a property is vacant, we make sure that all the cleaning and repairs have been completed, take pictures, and market the property once again. On average, with exceptions of December, January, and February, the turnaround time is approximately 30 days or less. During the summer months, we're lucky to have about a week between tenants, and a lot of the times they don't even want that long. They want like the next day. So those are good months. The summertime is also the best time that our to rent properties, because we're able to increase the rents for those owners. And then we start all over again. So how'd you guys do?
I missed 3.
I don't think I don't talk in public.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks. That's what happens when you tell me I can't.
Yeah, but you don't have that one crosstalk, goals and objectives.
What? The stress-free management?
No.
Oh, goals and, yeah, but I heard you say that.
Yeah. All right. Anybody have any questions? That was kind of just a general idea of what I do. All of these words that I have on that sheet are words that I use almost every single day. So to me, they're just, a bunch of words that are in my daily vocabulary. So if you ever have a question, let me know. This is a great reason why realtors, as I mentioned earlier, that are working with investors, it's in their best interest to work with knowledgeable property managers. That way they look good. Again, I'm not looking for the commission or a referral fee or anything from those realtors. I just want the investors for working with their property management. So that's what I'm looking for. Questions?
Can we look at your sheet and see where we missed our words?
Every
Can you read it again?
Read it
Slower
again.
this time.